Day one, Greenwich in the red against defending national champion St Ignatius in the striped jerseys. These teams are very familiar with each other. They've played each other almost every first round the last few years. And there is the opening kick, which was beautifully placed between a bunch of players. Hakadakis can't hold on to it when he's hit as he catches it. And that'll be starting with a knock-on by Ignatius and a scrum for Greenwich. Greenwich has only lost the one game, their opener against Xavier. And while that is a team that Ignatius beat, I don't know if you want to read too much into that. It was the first game of the season for Greenwich, and they've gone on to defeat teams such as Fairfield Prep, Staples, Trumbull, and the like. St. Ignatius has won all of their games except for one, and that one was against a professional academy team in France, Bordeaux-Bègles professional academy team, which they lost to, but they did win another game on tour in France and have defeated Gonzaga, Xavier, St. Edward, who are all here, as well as La Select. And the 8-man pick by Guazzo. Guazzo is dragged down by his opposite number, Stefan. Dug out by Meyer. The Cardinals looking to do something. Stanton, the captain, and he is pushed into touch. Nice little tackle there from the scrum half, Buxani. And that'll be a line out for Ignatius. Noah Espinos with the throw, the take by Worthington. Charge ahead now. Ignatius probably looking to clear. And the kick to touch. Was that brought back in? Well, it doesn't go into touch. And so it's well taken by Shaw. He looks to send it wide to Flynn. Flynn couldn't quite get the handle, but he does kick that ball, and it goes out on the full. So a little bit of a mistake there. Kicking battle will be important for both of these teams. And Ignatius has a couple of players who can really put boot to ball. And you'll notice that it's their right wing, Noah Gallagher, who usually is the one that puts in the kicks. Quick line out, just barely won by Ignatius, rather sloppily. Pick and go. Greenwich organizing quickly. Leopold. Hakadakis looking to pass that ball on. Really wasn't able to, just muscled his way through the big lock. Leopold again back the other direction, looking to offload. Doesn't have anyone to offload. Hakadakis all alone. Good tackling from Greenwich. And back to Leopold. So it's been just sort of back and forth. Left, right, left, right. That pass on along the ground. And Ignatius looking to play with that one, but they go back for an offside penalty against Greenwich. And you'll see again the winger Gallagher come in to kick, and he thumps that. It's a nice touch finder. Gets Ignatius into the Greenwich 22. A lot of size in this Ignatius team. You see Hakadakis at lock, really more like a very tall prop, the way he's put together. But if you look at the midfield that they're able to put together, some very powerful athletes there. Worthington again snags it well. The maul set up, sacked by Greenwich. Ferris had to slow down and catch that, but he manages to get some go forward. Nice little tips ball. Forward go Ignatius again. Come back the other direction. Hakadakis looking to connect with Werner. Leopold running. Well tackled around the legs. Hagadakis again. About his 5th carry, perhaps. McGowan now, the fly half. Looking to go for an inside pass. That ball hits the deck and it is kicked ahead. Smart move by Greenwich, and they could go all the way. Try for Greenwich. What an amazing play. Off the dropped ball, kicked ahead. Just some fantastic work by Greenwich, and that is exactly the sort of thing that they can do. A little bit of an execution mistake by Ignatius, and right on top of it, an amazing play by Julian Guazo, the vice captain, the number 8. A great turn of pace, able to get there just ahead of, I think that was Cohen Lucky trying to dive on it. Try for Greenwich. Santiago Flynn setting up for that conversion attempt. And that one across the face of the post, so it'll stay 5-0.
Hey, boys, keep it up! Let's go, pressure! Come on, Greenwich! Let's go,
McGowan with the kick. And that is kicked into touch. And another kick to touch mistake from Greenwich. They kicked it, went out on the full, just outside the 22. Ignatius was looking to go quickly, but that is, they'd already called the ball back on the 20, just about 23 meters away from the line. Worthington takes it again. The maul goes again. Good carry from Votipka, but he's held up a little bit. Where is that ball? Is Greenwich going to be able to turn that over? Greenwich up very quickly. Good pass. Slow ball for Ignatius. Leopold, and a flat pass, and that's going to come back as a forward pass. Right there, Lobozo looked like he might be able to go through, but they're going to bring back, and I think there's going to be a penalty against Greenwich. And we're already having a talking to, and I think that's sort of a too many penalties. Offside. Frequent offside. Gallagher kicks to touch. Once again, Ignatius will look to take the line out, probably look to take that maul. Might have a little bit of a hold-up because that ball went rolling into the forest. Noah Spinos with the throw. And that one just went there. I don't think Worthington was ready to take it. A wide pass. Boker grabs it for Ignatius. Sidestep inside. And that's going to be a penalty against Greenwich for no tackler release. Ignatius goes quickly. Was Greenwich back? They didn't have too far to go back. And try for Ignatius. And a little bit fired up as well. Noah Spinos with the pick and go. Not always the most effusive, but that was an interesting miss on that line out. Worthington went up, but he was waving his arms, just trying to get his balance, and the ball went right through where his hands should have been. And that ties it up 5-5. McGowan, Hank McGowan, going to the University of Chicago next fall. Kicks that one and snakes it in. Not the most beautiful of kicks, but you know what? It's 2 points on the scoreboard. 7-5, Ignatius takes the lead. Greenwich will want to not get tied up in penalty trouble here in this game. Another high one. Taken this time, Hakedakis. Goes right into 3 players. Leopold through. Looking for the offload. Gives it. Labozo. Taken down. Isolated. The clear out is there, but the counter ruck comes from Greenwich. Can Greenwich turn that one over? Big fight in that breakdown. Ball does come out. Alex Werner. Preston Buxani pulls that out. Sam Leopold. Worthington. Just slung around. And they send a dummy runner, and that looks like that's Stefan out there on the far left side, the number 8. Again, very slow ball coming out, but Ignatius still able to get it. Spinos to Hakedakis. Hakedakis once again carrying that ball, carrying the mail for them. Labozo. Nice inside ball, Worthington. What a little sidestep from the flanker. Beautiful inside ball from Grayson Hakedakis, and Charlie Worthington, the blindside flanker, sidesteps back against the overcommitting defender, and a try for Ignatius. Outstanding run from the flanker. But Greenwich will be disappointed with how they over-pursued there on defense. McGowan is good with the kick. 14-5 now. Ignatius leads. All that came from little break in the middle. Sam Leopold connecting with Rowan Labozo, and Labozo, who's scored a ton of tries for Ignatius this year at prop, got them going. Back again, they want to kick it to Hakedakis again, kick it to the toughest carrier they have, Leopold. Excellent work from Sam Leopold, who really had some, although he's held up here. So Ignatius is going to have to do something about that. Oh, they got away with it. Buxani finds Hakedakis again. Off to the left, and once again, he's held up. This is good work from Greenwich. Ignatius moving that forward. That ball is ripped away by Teodoro Baliero. Out through Byrne, and Greenwich finally able to play with the ball. It's first time in a while. Stanton is stood up and taken backwards. And lying on top of the ball a little bit. And where is that counter ruck? Well, Stanton did very well to make sure that he kept ball because he was under significant pressure. Ignatius going for that ball. Greenwich getting those clear out players on there quickly. A lovely box kick there from Meyer. That puts Gallagher under pressure. Gallagher still somehow staying alive. Again, a drop. And exactly what you want out of that kind of box kick. A great chase from Greenwich, forcing the mistake, forcing the error. And now a scrum and an attacking chance for Greenwich. It's still a big battle in the scrum, even though scrums are limited to a 1.5 meter push in under 19 rugby. 1.5 meters is a long way. Solid scrum from Greenwich. Options for them. Meyer picks it up, gets it out to Flynn. Flynn has options, sends a flat pass to Corson, but the tackle is there. Mussolini. And a back inside to Pietrica. Picked up by Flynn this time, playing the halfback role. Big tackle from Hakadakis. Greenwich still has it. Meyer to Flynn. Sends that wider. Still going through. Good attacking tenacity from Greenwich. They're getting closer and closer to the line. Now looking at potentially just working a pick and jam pattern. Clear out player just sort of diving as he's clearing it out. And penalty advantage. Penalty against Ignatius, probably for in from the side. It looked definitely like somebody was in from the side. They might have been offside either way. Now Greenwich, excellent chance to go score. Sidestep from Flynn, down to the line. He's not able to get there. A big pile of bodies. Greenwich thinks they might have scored. Still they're going. And there the wide ball. Stanton with a sidestep, and somehow he doesn't get there. Tackled by Stefan. Dylan Stanton, just a great sidestep there. But then they go out wide. Try for Greenwich. And that is Nicholas Marchenko out there on the far left side, and a beautiful floaty pass out to the winger, and he goes in for the try. Great answer from Greenwich, and that all came from that excellent box kick and the chase. Marchenko actually had something to do with that as well. But that box kick, the chase, the mistake, scrum, and then pressure from Greenwich gets them their second try. And right now, 14-10 with the kick to come. Not an easy kick by any stretch. But for a right-legged kicker, not impossible. And that kick by Flynn up, it looks really good. Just a little short. You always wonder about that. Why go back so far if you're that accurate? But it stays 14-10. So interesting back and forth on this. Ignatius pretty conservative. Do have a player down in goal for Ignatius, so they're going to stop a little bit as the trainer goes out to see who that is. But this is what happens when you have some significant depth as they bring off. I'm not sure who that is because I'm blocked by the goalpost at the moment. But Charlie Banaszak is coming on as the substitute. Banaszak, who played for the USA under 19s. And he's on the bench, so that's not too bad a player to have on the bench. McGowan. Good high kick. The chase is on. Box kick. Gallagher's under it. And he's just going to kick it back down toward Meyer. Flynn sends a bit of a line drive kick. That's very well placed. It lands between Lucky and McGowan. Lucky has it to McGowan. McGowan carries. Bit of a standstill there for Hagadakis, but he manages to dish that off. Leopold looking for Lobozo. Cohen Lucky. Stefan. Good carry. I think that's Stefan. It might have been, excuse me. Well, that was Luke Votipka, the inside center. That's Stefan. That's not. And that's a knock on, and we're going to go back. We're going to have a talk. And it may be just, hey, we're tired of this. Yes. So there was a warning about repeated infringements, and then we got another offside. It was repeated offside by Greenwich. And they really push that line speed. Gallagher decides to go the long way, doesn't make touch. Very well done there by Van Tuyl. Greenwich. Well, they lose that one. They lose that forward.
Hey, Wall! Do not do that shit in our half, Wall! Do not do that!
And that tackle forcing a knock on. And they have to even up in the scrum. It's actually the offending team's choice whether they want to go fewer players in the scrum or not, but you have to even up. Votipka. Good carry from him. McGowan. McGowan caught immediately. Hagadakis. No tackle or release, and that was a tackle, nice tackle from Mussolini, but he didn't really do anything after that. Hagadakis taps himself, goes through one, goes through another, but is finally summarily brought down. Buksani somehow stays on there. Banaszak now. Banaszak cuts back inside. Good aggressive tackling from Greenwich. Ignatius still has the ball. Now they're looking to go short yardage. Slowing it down. Woodbury, the MVP of the final last year, played his way onto the USA age grade team. Pick up and go, and that one is going to be a try. And that looks to be Alex Werner, the second row forward. Picked it up and just kept moving, get pushed wide and wide, and a try to St. Ignatius makes it 19-10. This has been a physical battle, and unfortunately we're seeing Banaszak, who went on, is a little bit shaken up, and they may sub him off. He's on for just a few minutes. And this will be an interesting change because Banaszak was coming on, can play loose forward or as a back. That kick is away. So that's 19-10. They're bringing on Levi Hoffman, who is a wing center fullback, which kind of changes the calculus for Ignatius changes them from more of a team that powers through you to, well, just a different kind of team. Hoffman, though, very effective goal kicker. And another kick straight to Hakadakis. He doesn't hold it, but it goes backwards. It's well taken in there, well scooped up. I think that's by a player who's slow to get up. Good carry from Ignatius Labazo. That was Werner, slow to get up, who picked that up. Hakadakis again met, double teamed. Ignatius still trying to power through, and Leopold does very well. Going left, Worthington, he's got Hoffman with him, fakes it, and that is taken into touch. Excellent tackle from the Cardinals. The defense just driving them into touch. Greenwich taking their time with that line out, hoping to milk the rest of that yellow card off. Remember, 8 minutes in these 60-minute games. And that's going to be a not straight call, I think? Or is that going to be a knock-on? It'll be a not straight call, and that's what happens when you contest that throw. You can force that not straight. If you don't contest, then even if it is not straight, it doesn't really matter.
Go, use.
Scrum for Ignatius. As we have to be coming close to the end of this first half. It's been a really interesting first half. And I would think Ignatius would probably point to say that they gave up 2 tries so far on mistakes, but at the same time, it's you can force those mistakes, and that's certainly what Greenwich did. Votipka, good carry from him. Back to Gallagher. Gallagher lofts a big kick, landing somewhere around the 10-meter line. Well taken. Greenwich. Good rubber through. Boker. Boker with a sidestep. Marchenko was not fooled one bit from that one. Werner now. He stood up nicely. And that was Van Tool. A lot of counter rucks from Greenwich. Werner. The quick ball from Woodbury to Boker. Lucky digs it out. Worthington. Straight in between 2 players. Drives them back. Leopold, who's been very effective. Labazo. Spinos. And Gallagher now kicks deep, looking to put Greenwich under pressure. And a well taken, and then the kick doesn't find touch. And Gallagher off to the other side, and that kick downfield. He did well not to put that into touch. Taken by Meyer. Meyer kicks it downfield. Lucky now has it. Sends a pass wide to McGowan. That changes everything. And that kick, he's kind of shanks that one into touch. It goes out on the full. So that's a net win for Greenwich. They'll take that. McGowan won't be happy with that one. He certainly was thinking that perhaps he could pump it into the corner. And now back to full strength, Greenwich. Yellow card didn't hurt them all that much. Stanton, well taken. Flynn, chipping ahead. Read by Buxani. Good teamwork from Ignatius to get that turned around. McGowan with the kick. Now another kick. And that one is rolling and rolling and rolling. Gallagher. Well, decides to run with it. and runs behind his teammate. And that was another mistake. And that will be a penalty. Obstruction against Ignatius, and that running sideways and sideways with players in front of you, that's going to be a penalty all the time. Greenwich now looking perhaps to make something happen with the kick to touch. And the maul. And the maul doesn't go anywhere for Greenwich. Loopy pass. Flynn wasn't able to catch up to it. Picked up by Corsoon. Meyer with a box kick. That could be very dangerous. Stanton going for it. Stefan going for it. Stefan touched it down. And that will be quite the play to end the first half. What a first half we have. And after a little bit of a wonky ending there, Ignatius was able to survive with a great try-saving play from Ben Stefan to preserve it at 19-10. Ignatius leads here in this quarterfinal. The first day. We've had quite a first day. 19-10. 30 minutes to go. A place in the semifinals on the line. Greenwich gets moving. Good carry, catch and carry from Guazzo, the try scorer, number 8. Turnover for Ignatius. And look at the contest there at the breakdown and coming through and grabbing the ball. See, that's the mistake you make. You can counter-ruck. Henry Wall came in and counter-rucked and exposed the ball. We do have another Ignatius player down. But he came in and counter-rucked, and really all he needed to do was to work over the ball. Instead, he bent over to pick it up, and it's in the middle of a ruck. We do have Spinos has had to come out, and Michael Friedel comes on at hooker. And Ignatius will take that kick to touch. So it's been a bit of a string of injuries for Ignatius. They won't be pleased about that at any stage of the season, certainly not at this time. And now, just coming on, Friedel will be asked to throw in at the line out. No problem there. Worthington takes it. They run that maul. Keep the maul on their feet this time. Greenwich had been trying to sack it, unable to. This is a good drive from Ignatius. It's spinning off to the left. Ball comes down to the ground. Ignatius just picking it up and driving it forward. Another pick and drive. Once again going, and it is a try. Just like that. Hakadakis, Grayson Hakadakis goes in. What a powerful carry that was. And McGowan with the conversion, and again, he goes back to the 22. I'm not sure that is really necessary. I'd go in, say, 15 meters back. And he kicks that one, and it is straight through. That makes it 26-10. That's sort of a different viewpoint on that score line now. It's a 3-score lead. Still plenty of time, though. We just started this second half. Really good restart from Greenwich, just getting so much height on there. Once again, Leopold, he's been a terror today, breaking in between those tacklers. A bit of a high one for Gallagher to take, but he just slides to the right and then boots it downfield. Still makes a lot of ground. The counter on for Greenwich, driving it into the corner. Gallagher has it again, just doinks it down the field, and that rolls into touch. There's a bit of a discussion about that, and maybe somebody was offside, or whether that went out on the full. Seemed like Gallagher was inside the 22, and they discuss it, and there's a little bit of confirmation from the other AR, and we go to where it went out. So what a great kick. That was a good 40-meter gain for Ignatius. Obviously, Greenwich will have the throw-in, but that's what this type of kicking exchange is about. Who has the throw-in, but where on the field? Stanton gets that back quickly. Greenwich now. Oh, powerful carry. Looking for that offload. It's there, but did it go forward? Yes, it did. That's a tough call. That is a tough call. Great carry and offload by Wall. And Pietrica was coming in, and that one went a little forward maybe, but it looked like he tried to get it to go backwards. Technically speaking, a forward pass is when you direct it forward. You can send it backwards, but if your momentum has that ball going. But we're getting a little picky on that. Buxani gets that out to McGowan. McGowan grubbers it through. The chase is on. Hoffman, he's got it. Hoffman with the sidestep. Beautifully executed. Hank McGowan grubbers through on the set play. It's set up very nicely for Levi Hoffman, who then not only took it right when he needed to, then cut back inside for the try. Outstanding play from Ignatius. Overall, a good solid scrum. And then just setting up that play. (31-10). And the conversion makes it 33-10. Greenwich has some work to do. Oh, we've got a couple more subs about to come on for Ignatius. Gavin Foss, Alex Miller. Hakadakas is going to take a breather. And Ben Steffen comes off. And that ball just glanced off of Greenwich's shoulder and went backwards, so that's just fine. Loose ball. Somebody dove on it. Who has it? Greenwich has it. Comes back to Greenwich side somehow. No, it doesn't. Well, Leopold dove on it, and that was fine, but then he didn't get out of the way when it was coming back on the Greenwich side. He tried to fight for it to come back, so that's a penalty against Ignatius. And that one doesn't get into touch. It's kept in by Lucky. And now we're going to come back and say it did go into touch. Big lineup for Greenwich. They would really like to get back on the front foot. Stanton has been their go-to man. Does just enough at that point. Flynn now looking to use Wall. Wall, a main ball carrier in those tight corners. Counter ruck from Ignatius, but the Cardinals are sending it wide. They send it back to Marchenko. Guazzo sent backward. Flynn calling for it. Connects up with Korsun. And that ball just offloaded to Frederick Shaw, the vice captain. It's a good hit from Foss. Foss and Hoffman coming off the bench. A little bit of afters, but nobody seems to care. And then a steal by Woodbury. Ignatius has it. And a couple of lazy runners by Greenwich, and referee, I think rightly, is just calling that accidental. They're trying to get back on. Yes, they could have gone back, taken a different line, but they didn't. Buxani tries to kick into them, trying to get an offside penalty. He gets the scrum instead. Just as well, really, the scrum is pretty solid for both of these teams. We haven't seen much in the way of twisting or potential tight heads, and that's simply because both of these teams are very good at it. Nice and low and square options for Ignatius. Oh, this one's a bit of a battle, though. Having said that, those were nice and square. McGowan just drives it to the corner. He's from his own half. Did that go into the 22? I don't think it did. I think it rolled in about 30 meters out. And still, what that does is just lengthens the field for Greenwich. Back to work. Aiden Byrne needs to throw this in. They've just been going to Dylan Stanton at the front. It's been working. And this one, they go to the back to Guazzo. Cleaner ball there. Wall is their guy. He loses that on the hit. It goes right into Hoffman. Hoffman still running. Gets to the line. Held up. Ignatius gets that down. Can they get that ball out, or are they going to make that turnover? There it is. And just really a costly mistake there for Greenwich. Ignatius now, you see pretty much everybody just circled around that ball. They are just, and there it is. The pick and the go and the try. It's just so clinical there. Trying to see who that was who scored. Might well have been Werner again. Paid for it with a bit of dirt in his eye. Well, one thing you have to say is that when you put somebody on, you want them to elevate the game. You want them to make an impact. You want them to play with confidence. Levi Hoffman coming on unexpectedly has made a couple of very, very big plays and just opportunistic pouncing on those rolling balls. McGowan with the conversion attempt. It is good. Nigel, can I confirm score? That's what I got. Thank you. 40-10. St. Ignatius now leads. That is a 5-score lead. That's a big deal there. And we see some more reserves coming on for Ignatius, trying to get some rest for some of these forwards. And that's a short one. Pulled a little bit, but nabbed. It may have actually been Werner, the try scorer, who grabbed that. Foss. McGowan. That was just rolling perfectly like it's a soccer ball. Cohen Lucky is on there. The kick forward picked up by Worthington. Still has it. Looking to make that offload. Needed to either make it or don't, but he lost it. But that was going to be a penalty, a knock-on advantage against Greenwich. And the referee is we're going to go back to an AR correction, I think. And we think we're going to go to a knock-on by Ignatius. So good communication between the officials. I think that's what I saw as well, was a knock-on by Worthington as he's trying to make that offload. And one more substitution. Very interesting one here. Alden Therian, come on. He has played on every team that Ignatius has this season, if you count the fact that he played he's not a freshman, he's a sophomore, but he played with the freshmen in France on the under-16 team because he is under 16. And good win for Greenwich, and they kick it downfield. McGowan under it. Again with that grubber. Going to have to chase it. Players are going to have to retreat. They do that. And you watch the discipline of both of these teams to be able to retreat and understand what the stakes are when you're kicking back and forth and how to stay onside. And I'm probably going to be commentator's curse here, but I have not seen an offside on a kick penalty yet for either side. They've just been so smart about that. Foss smacked. Friedel, Miller, good carry, very good carry from the Nation. Stanton slow to get up. That was a tough one for the Greenwich captain, who's put in a huge shift. There's another weaving, aggressive run. I think that was from Worthington. Might well have been Werner. Werner has been a monster today. Buxani to Lucky. Lucky doesn't like what he sees and ends up getting hit as a result. Greenwich defending, just keeping Ignatius at this halfway line, not really allowing anything big. And Greenwich doing a better job of staying onside, just being quick off the line. And now Gallagher finds a place to put it. Flynn controls it with his foot nicely. Thinks about kicking. No, you know what? They need tries and they need the ball. Stanton, offload. That might have been a knock on by Hoffman, but no, Ignatius has it. The counter ruck from Worthington. Therian, not a tall man, but a very difficult man to bring down. Friedel. McGowan has somebody. Oh, he just fakes that and goes right through the gap. Nobody with him. Had to take that tackle. Again, Greenwich defense just swarming through, really pushing hard to force a mistake. Worthington again. That ball, again, very sloppy, slow ball. Foss carrying it. Look at that fight in that breakdown. And that's a turnover for Greenwich. I think that was Guazzo in there. Usually is. Guazzo and Stanton have been incredible for them. Meyer now sends it to Flynn. Flynn kicking it. Gallagher has it. And he just kicks with such confidence, doesn't he? Just drives it down into the corner from inside his half, maybe. Yes. It's a 50-22. It's about the shortest 50-22 you could possibly get. 1 meter inside his half and 1 meter inside the 22, but it is good enough. And Alex Werner, who has had a game, quite a game, comes off. I actually didn't see who went on for him. The maul is set by Ignatius. Ripped away by Greenwich. Now they've got numbers. They could have just sent it. They had about a 5-on-2. They had opportunity. There it is now. Have to be able to give it. And they've run their teammates out of space when it was there on a silver platter for the Cardinals. They really had Ignatius in trouble there. Kelly Convery is on for Alex Werner. And Greenwich has really hung with mostly their starting 15. Buxani. Well, he flicks that one out. That was a dangerous one. Hoffman picks it up. Couple of wonky passes there, but Ignatius still has the ball and is still moving forward. Greenwich really would like that ball back. Buxani. Convery gets his first carry, works his way through it. Foss just straight through, straight ahead. Convery gets that tips pass, tackled. Quick ball for Ignatius. And that one is not quite going to hand. Buxani going in and having to flick that ball away. So it'll come back for a knock forward. Meanwhile, Worthington's coming off for, I believe that's a temporary blood sub. Hopefully temporary. And that brings in Robert Leskovic to come in at flanker. Big performances in this game, just such a physical game. Stanton has been immense for Greenwich. Meyer's been good at scrum half, and Guazzo as well. Defensively, I think Ignatius has done well in the back line. Gallagher's been good with the kicking, but coming off the bench, Levi Hoffman, a couple of big impact plays. Alex Werner, excellent at lock. Sam Leopold asked to do a lot, carrying the ball hard, which he has done. Charlie Worthington. There, another. You see that the tackles coming in. Meyer trying to work his way through Woodbury. And it's going to be an advantage, I believe, against Ignatius. And we're going to come back to the penalty. Offside. A 40-10. Certainly at this point, neither team wants to pick up any more injuries. Want to get through this game. Greenwich definitely wants to. This ball's going to come straight to the booth. Boop. Actually lands right in the number 4 official's arms. now with Hakadakas actually. The yellow card on for Ignatius. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, can't count them at the moment. But Meyer with the box kick. He's been very good with those. With that one controlled by McGowan. McGowan sells a sidestep. He's on his way. Does he have support? He does. Convery with him. And Convery hit and loses the ball forward. Nice little sidestep. And that one, that's going to be a problem. That is a late hit, and that was a dumb penalty by Ignatius. Just overzealousness, and that's worrying because the player is hurt, and that's very, very unfortunate. I didn't see who that was who did that hit. It might have been Votipka. But immediately you see, in fact, the Ignatius trainer is out there along with the field trainer. And there's going to be a discussion about that. And I think we're going to see a card. And unfortunately also, more importantly than that, we're going to see an injured player. So the teams will huddle up. I would know this. And we get the player. Unfortunately, he's leaving it. He's leaving in the cart, but he's sitting up, and that is good news. We have, give or take, about 6 minutes left in this match. 40-10, Ignatius leads. And we will see what the upshot is of that. What was a late tackle, and it looked a little high. So we'll see. And then, of course, when somebody has to leave the field injured, that is often an issue as well. It was Luke Votipka who made that tackle. Captain Hank McGowan, Luke Votipka. There's going to be a discussion about that. Yellow card. You see Votipka sends an apology to the Greenwich players and is off really for the rest of the match. All right, so Greenwich. Greenwich takes that line out. And really the Cardinals would like to get something positive out of this second half, which has been a bit of a rough second half. 3 converted tries against them. And then moving it in. Stanton again offloads very nicely. That ball comes back to him. Somehow he gets hold of it and keeps it. The captain does. Meyer. Flynn delays a pass. That's a wide one. That's a speculative one. Gomez. Meyer picks it up. Back in with Gonzalez. Actually, it was Freddie Quelch. Freddie Quelch off the bench. Flynn back inside to Pietrica, but it is forward, and that was very almost forward. A little bit of a tough call, I think, on Greenwich. But that is kind of the story of what they've been dealing with. but just about the first, maybe the second time we've seen Greenwich get into the Ignatius half this second period. It is almost, certainly in territory, it has been all Ignatius. Buxani to McGowan. McGowan, boot to ball, playing the other side of the field. Chased down by Gomez. Gomez has a couple of options. Gets outside Buxani. Buxani makes the tackle. The offload is made. Convery picks it up for Ignatius. It's Ignatius ball. Hey, Convery's still going, looking for somebody to pass to. Dug out. Therian. Gets that. I think that was Leskovic in there. And back to Gallagher. And you see how good a kicker he is there, because that somebody was right on him to charge that down, and he changed the angle of his kick to avoid getting charged down. Tackle. Greenwich is going to retain that. Couple of rolls. Extra roll with a player on top. That is, and he puts his hands out as if he's never heard of that. And that was 2 rolls. Player trying to get the ball. That's going to be a penalty. Nicholas Mussolini is shocked that he was caught. And Gallagher kicks to touch. So that, again, will work off time. Ignatius will take a little bit of time to go to that line out. Friedel with the throw. Ignatius finally got that maul going where they were able to keep it off the deck. They didn't get it all the way to the line, however. Well done by Ignatius, and it comes back, and they're going to bring that back for, I think, a not straight. Greenwich with the ball. Got to run it. Really can't play territory. And this is a great break. Again with that offload, just the hit at the same time forces that turnover. They were looking for those offloads out of contact, and you get the feeling that they got those a lot during the season. And that will be it. Preston Buxani kicks it into touch, and a really impressive second half from Ignatius. They were under pressure. Remember, they just got out of giving up a try at the end of the first half. That try could potentially have made it 19-17. And then they came down and they just took care of it. A really excellent run of tries. Hackadakis scoring. Hoffman off that grubber. That was great. And then Werner getting his second off their short yardage. Greenwich put a lot into it and were really causing Ignatius trouble in that first half. Penalty trouble for them didn't help them. And we will see Ignatius move on to the semifinals for the 6th year in a row that they have been at these nationals. They've always made the semifinals. And if you give me 1 or 2 moments, I might be able to figure out who they're playing. I would assume they're playing Gonzaga. But we'll check it. Anyway, That's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Irish Rugby Tours. Thanks to AIA Sports Analytics. Thanks to No Cap Soda. Thanks to Next Phase Rugby. Thanks to Arch Insurance. Thanks to World Rugby Shop and the US Rugby Foundation. And thanks for you to watching. We will see you tomorrow here on the USA Youth and High School Rugby YouTube channel. I'm Alex Goff. See you tomorrow.